Hello friends, I am going to discuss illustration number 12 of capital structure. This is from CMA Intergroup Second Financial Management. Please read the questions here. Okay. Illustration number 12. Excel Limited provides you the following figures. Profit rupees 2,60,000. Less interest on debenture rupees 60,000. Income tax earning before tax 2 lakhs. 50% profit after tax, number of equity share 40,000, earning per shares, market price per share, that is price earning ratio. In this case, debenture interest is given, amount of debenture is not given. You need to calculate in working note calculation of debenture amounts. Working note first you need to calculate here. Calculation of debt amount. Debt amount. Okay, who will calculate debt amount? 12% of debt, that is just 60,000. Then what will be the debt here? Debt is just 60,000 divided by 12%, it will be rupees 5 lakh. 5 lakh. Okay. Then debt amount we have calculated. And the number of equities here 40,000 at the rate of rupees 10 each. Then in working note second we can calculate equity capital. Equity capital 40,000 into 10, that equal to rupees 4 lakh. Equity capital rupees 4 lakh. Okay, these are good questions. Now the company has undistributed reserve rupees 6 lakh. Undistributed reserve rupees 6 lakh. The company needs rupees 2 lakh. Additional capital required rupees 2 lakh expansion. This will earn the same rate as company already implied. It means what? It is a return on existing return on investment will be equal to the return on investment after expansion. Existing return on investment will be equal to the return on investment after expansion. Okay, you are informed that a debt equity ratio, debt upon debt plus equity, more than 35%. If debt equity ratio is more than 35%, will push the price earning ratio 8. Right now price earning ratio is 10. When debt equity ratio more than 35%, in that case price earning ratio be 8. And the raise the interest in additional borrowed funds. Additional borrowed fund is raised 14%. You are required to ascertain the probable price of the share. Probable price of the share. If the additional fund is raised through the debt, if the additional fund is raised through the equity. Okay. In the given question, it is not informed that by what rate additional debt is raised. By what rate? This information is silent here. In this case, you can assume as per your own convenience, but it is the most appropriate case, in most best case, the market price of equity share is already given at 25. On the basis of this, additional debt is raised. It is assumed. Okay. Now, in the working note third, it is assumed that additional debt is raised at current market price per share. Number of new equity. What will be the number of new equity? We have to raise rupees 2 lakh at the rate of 25. 8,000 new equity will be raised. Okay. Now we have to calculate market price per share. For this, you have to show capital structure, EBIT, and market price per share. Okay. This is a good question. Please revise these questions. Okay. Now, working note 4. Table showing capital structure. Table showing capital structure. This is the debt. This is the equity. First write existing capital. Existing capital. Now, 40,000 equity at the rate of 10. This is 4 lakh. This is 4 lakh. Now, reserve. Reserve you have 6 lakh rupees. Reserve you have 6 lakh. Now, debt. 12% debt. Debt. 12% debt is 5 lakh here. 5 lakh. This is your 5 lakh. Total existing capital. Total existing capital. This is 15 lakh. This is 15 lakh. Total existing capital 15 lakh, 15 lakh. Now, additional capital. Additional debt is raised 14%. In the question it is given. Additional debt is raised 14% here. This is the information. 14% debt, rupees 2 lakh. 8,000 equity at the rate of 25, it is 2 lakh. Total capital implied. Total capital. Implied. In this case, this is a debt plus equity. 17 lakh. This is your 17 lakh. Debt plus equity. Only debt. Debt in this case 5 lakh. This existing debt 5 lakh and new debt 2 lakh. That is the 7 lakh debt. In this case only debt 5 lakh. 5 lakh is a debt. Now we have to calculate debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio. In this case you write a debt plus equity into 100. This is a 7 lakh. That is 17 lakh into 100. In this case, this is the 5 lakh divided by 17 lakh into 100. Here 41.176%. 41.176%, and in this case 29.41%. In the question it is informed that if debt equity ratio more than 35%, then price earning ratio will be 8. So on the basis of debt equity ratio, price earning ratio is going to decide here is 8. Otherwise, existing price earning ratio is maintained, that is the 10. That is the 10. In the question, it is informed that you are informed that the debt equity ratio, debt upon debt plus equity more than 35%, price earning ratio is 8. It means 10 is existing. Here it is 8 because of price debt equity ratio more than 35%, and this will be 10. Okay, number of equity share will be what? Number of equity share, this is a 40,000 here. In this case 40,000 plus 8,000 new, 48,000. Now we have to calculate return on investment. Working note 5. Calculation of existing return on investment. Return on investment equal to EVIT divided by existing capital employed. So this EBIT will be the existing EBIT. Okay, this is the existing EBIT into 100. Look in the questions. Existing EBIT is a 2,60,000 on existing capital employed 2,60,000. Existing capital employed is 15 lakh. 15 lakh is the existing capital employed. 2,60,000 divided by 15 lakh into 100 into 100. This is just 17.33%. As per questions, return on investment, existing return on investment will be equal to return on investment after expansion. After expansion will be the same return on investment will be maintained. Therefore, return on investment after expansion will be also 17.33%. Now working note 6. Calculation of EVIT after expansion. EVIT means return on investment to capital employed. EVIT equal to return on investment into capital employed. Return on investment 17.33% into after expansion capital employed is 17 lakh. This is 2,94,610. 2,94,610. On the basis of this, we can calculate market price per share when debt finance or market price per share when equity finance. Now, calculation of market price per share when debt finance and equity finance. Market price per share under debt finance and equity finance. First alternative is a debt. Second alternative is your equity. This is a rupees. This is also written in rupees. Okay. Now EBIT 2,94,610. 2,94,610 less interest existing, in this case new. Existing is just 60,000. This is your 60,000. New. In the case of first alternative, 2 lakh debt is raised at the rate of 14%. Then 14% of 2 lakh, this is 28,000. 28,000. Earning before tax 2 lakh 6,610. 2,34,610 less tax 50%, 1,03,305, 1,17,305. Earning after tax 1,03,305, 1,17,305 less preference dividend. In this question, preference dividend is not given. This is said to be earning for equity. This is A 1,03,305, 1,17,305. Number of equity share. Number of equity share. In the case of debt, it is of 40,000. In the case of this, it is of 48,000. This is the B, assumed to be B. Okay. Now, EPS is calculated A divided by B 2.58, 1,03,305 divided by 40,000, 2.58. 1,17,305 divided by 48,000, 2.44. 2.44. Now, price earning ratio is 8 in this case. This is a 10. Market price per share, EPS into price earning ratio, this is 2.58 into 8, 2.44 into 10. This is 20.64. This is 24.40. In this case, which one has the highest market price per share? Market price per share under equity finance is more than market price per share under debt finance. Therefore, it is better decision to raise additional debt, additional funds from the equity. It is better decision to raise additional funds from equity because of it has the highest market price per share. Okay, thank you class.